Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Touch. I'm Darwin Campbell. I'll be bringing you the inspirational message this morning. Morning Touch is brought to you by the FSBC in Glendale, solely for your inspiration and your motivation. We hope, trust, and pray that you enjoy these messages, and that if you do, please subscribe to the channel. This morning, I want to focus on the 5 incidents in the life of a man. These incidents happen very quickly and they happen very fast. But what I want us to focus on is the reaction to the incidents. This man is named Job. And in Job chapter 1, we see a series of events that take place in his life that take him from being a rich, strong, and powerful leader of his family to being poor and destitute. But what's more important is his response to what has happened to him. In Job 1, the Bible talks about how, in verse 15, Satan swooped down and took his oxen and donkeys away. In verse 16, another messenger reported a lightning storm struck from heaven. It burned up the sheep and servants and devoured them. In a third incident, the Chaldeans from 3 bands made a raid on the camels and took them away. A fourth incident, your sons and daughters were eating, drinking wine in the oldest brother's house. Suddenly a powerful wind swept down and struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on the people and they died. With all of this bad news, Job is taking it in. And to add one step to the measure, his wife comes in later. After Job had been inflicted with boils and become sickened, his wife says, "Curse God and die." But you know what I like? I like Job's response. Job's response to all of this tragedy and all of these events is this: "You speak as a foolish woman," he told her. "Should we accept only good from God and not adversity?" And the Bible says throughout all this, Job did not sin against God. You know, these 5 tragic events and Job's sickening can be compared to things that happen in our lives. When the devil comes against us, when the devil challenges us and challenges our faith, the question is, how do you respond in the face of bad news in your life? How do you respond in the face of tragedy? You know, the devil, the Bible says, is a roaring lion. Peter describes it perfectly. He says the devil is a roaring lion. 1 Peter chapter 5. Be serious. Your adversary, the devil, is a roaring lion, prowling about, seeking whom he can devour. Job is a classic example of what the devil can do to you and me. Job is a classic example of how our faith can be tried as a result of incidents and events that happen in our lives. Job teaches us and shows us and shares with us our response to tragedy and bad news when it happens. You know, when you think about it, Satan inflicted him that affected 4 major areas: his health, his wealth, his marriage, and his family. When we think about COVID-19 and we think about the fallout effects of it, it has affected health and wealth and marriage and family. But the question is, how do we respond? COVID-19 has caused a lot of divorces and marital frustration. And even in Job's life, his wife was frustrated with the losses. But Job said the most important thing to do is to take the good with the bad and allow God to work his measure. You know, hard times do come. Things will happen that will cause you and I to question our faith. There is no doubt about that. The devil's goal and his job is to cause you and me to turn our back on God, or to walk away from God, or to quit because we want to think that God doesn't have power. But my friends, don't be deceived and don't be fooled by the devil's notion that God can't help you. God can help you. And Job's message to you and me Even in 2020 with COVID-19, Job's message is this: take the good with the bad, because God is in control and he'll get you through the adversity. He'll get you through the bad times. He'll get you through the bad news. You just gotta trust him and hang on. Job's response to the tragedies in his life in Job chapter 1, his response gives me hope. And I hope that it gives you hope that God will not leave us standing at the altar. That if we are faithful and we trust in him and we walk in his light and we hold on to the hand of Jesus Christ, we will find strength in challenges. We will find hope in disappointment. We will find good even in the worst of the worst and bad conditions. I know we are affected by unemployment. We're affected by COVID-19. We're affected by medical issues. We're affected by marital strife and troubles. We're affected by financial pressure. But like Job, we've got to learn to accept the good and the adversity and allow God to work his measure in our life. Because what does not kill us, we come out of it stronger when we trust God. You know, I know there are a lot of pressure and challenges on you right now, but don't give up. Job's response is encouraging that we can get through this. We can get through this, but you've got to trust God. You got to trust him. Job tells us good times will happen, bad things will come. Bad things are inevitable, but they're not permanent. Let me say that again. Bad things are inevitable, but they're not permanent. The most important thing you and I can do through COVID-19, bubonic plague, or any other crisis, hurricanes, storms, is to put our hand in the hand of the man who still the waters, because he can carry us through. He cares for us, and he will protect us against any tragedy or any event that threatens to harm us. You know, the Morning Touch is brought to you by the FSBC in Glendale, solely for your encouragement. And we hope that you've been encouraged. In light of all of the darkness around you, in light of all the problems that are happening, be encouraged. Think about how Job handled his events. They happened to him all at once, but he trusted God. He did not sin. He did not charge God foolishly. He says, God's going to get me through my health issue. God's going to get me through my marital problem. God's going to get me through all of the losses. God's going to get me through. And I'm going to tell you something. If you trust him, God will get you through as well. So I encourage you, stay the course. Hold on to God's unchanging hand. Look to his word for guidance. The Morning Touch is brought to you by the FSBC Glendale for your encouragement. I hope you've been encouraged today. We hope that you will hold on. Help is on the way. As a matter of fact, help is here. So until next time, hold your head up, smile, look up to the Lord and say, I believe in you, I trust in you, I give this to you. We'll see you next time on The Morning Touch.